Welcome back to the Bold Bitch Banter.
Welcome back to season 2 of Bold Bitch Banter.
Welcome to season 2 of the Bold Bitch Banter. Welcome back to Bold Bitch Banter season 2.
Buckle up, Buttercup. We about to fuck it up. Let's go.
We're back, bitches. Season 2.
After we ghosted you, but we're back. So
we're in Egypt. We were in Egypt. We had the time of our lives, and we decided not to turn on our cameras or document anything the way we gaslit. We are going to Egypt, and we are so excited to share our journey with you.
We're gonna call out ourselves on all the bullshit at the end of season 1. Champ is gonna edit in that whole area of like 5 minutes. We were like, yeah, we're going to Egypt. We're gonna document everything. We were too busy actually experiencing it. So sorry. We'll give you some footage of what we have, but yeah. I'm recording because nobody's recording. Present in the moment.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah. It was definitely a trip. We learned a lot of great things. I fell off a horse. Let's bring it back a little bit.
I wish we did.
Let's bring it back. So my sister had set up this complete itinerary for us prior to my cousin's wedding. And we did like breakfast by the pyramids, the sunrise, and then a part of it was going to do horseback riding or camelback riding if you wanted to. I haven't done any horseback riding in 7 years, so I was really, really, really excited. And I was looking forward to this moment for so fucking long. I was like, I want my horse! So we get to the top of the hill and they're like, all right, who's ever ridden horses before? And I was like, me. So the guy decided, because I'm big and I opened up my big ass fucking mouth and said that, yo, I know how to ride horses. He gave me the biggest, strongest horse. And then we all get on the horse and we're walking, we're trotting. And then they're like, all right, the guy goes, yeah, with the whip, and he cracks the whip. And I'm like, oh, this is great. I felt so free. I decided to go, I'm free. And then I started riding on the side of the horse. And at that point, I was like, okay, I have to make a very conscious decision. Either I fall purposely or I ride the side of the horse like this. Both of which is not going to end up well. Everybody's taking off. I'm like, fuck my life. I am fucked. Everybody is like ahead of me now. And I'm like going like this. So take your foot out of the harness and just fall. So I fell and I scooped up the whole fucking sand, all the sand with my head, my shoulder, my glasses almost broke. It was a hot mess. I got up and I was like, ooh, I got so dizzy because the adrenaline and all that. And then to make the story even better, I'm trying to flag somebody down. Obviously, they all have surpassed me. And my brother, apparently, he saw me fall, but continued on to catch up to my sister and tell her, yo, she fell. And then she turns around. She sees my horse jetting without me on it. And she turns and looks at me. She goes, if that bitch is not dead, I'm killing her my fucking self. I'm not going to pay for a wild Arabian horse missing.
Yeah. True story.
So, yeah, there we go. And then somehow I made it alive. I made it back out alive. And the walk of shame back to the whole group. That was the worst part. Because my mom and my dad were all there. Everybody's there. My dad.
Our cousin.
He's like, when are you? He's like, are you okay? What's going on? I was like, I'm fine, Dad. My face is a little scratched up. My shoulder's bleeding. My cousins are laughing. And then he goes, when will enough be enough for you? When are you gonna grow up? I was like, this is exactly what I needed at 30 years old. Getting lectured by my dad in front of everybody in the middle of the fucking desert. It was very memorable, and the moral of the story is don't talk shit if you don't know how to back it up.
Facts. The guy that went after the horse was like a 14-year-old.
Yeah, but they do this for a living, man.
Like, he was legit a jockey. Anyway,
they do this for a living.
I have a slightly different perspective on those chain of events that happened that day. I told her, bro, we haven't ridden horses in such a long time. Let's take it easy. And she's like, no, I'm good. Well, we do this all the time. I'm like, all right. Mind you, she told you that she was riding sideways halfway after she was on the horse. No, it was from the get-go. She put herself on the horse. And I'm like, bro, you're tilting to the right too much. Fix your saddle. Fix your position on the saddle before we took off. And then the guy cracks the whip in the air. The horses know that's their cue to go. So when he cracked the whip and we were going, I'm like holding on to the saddle like dear life. My brother's like, holy shit! Because my brother likes to go like slow and easy, doesn't like the fast horses. But
some of our cousins really know how to ride horses, by the way.
Apparently that day all of us had fast horses. But nonetheless, right? The whip cracked and she was still on the angle. And so she didn't actually get to be free. She was like, free on the side. Okay. So I think in her mind, I kept telling her, bro, the faster you go, the harder it's going to be with momentum and inertia to center yourself on the horse.
Center of gravity? Where?
Then all of a sudden, all of our horses took off. Mind you, I'm like in the front of the pack, right? I don't see many people because one of our cousins jetted and I was in second place after them. And then all of a sudden, my brother is coming next to me and I'm like looking and then there's another horse without anybody on it. And I'm like, he goes, Mayhem! He goes, she fell off the horse! I was like, she better have died! Because if she didn't, I'm killing her myself! Because that horse is very expensive to replace. Yeah. But yeah, that was a true account. Then I saw the 14-year-old jockey running after a horse. Mind you, the horse is already like by the last sand dune that you can see. And I'm like, holy shit. Then all of a sudden it goes down and I'm like, we can't see the horse anymore. I'm like, holy shit. So in my mind, I'm like, yeah, they will charge us up the wazoo on the cost of the horse because there's no way to prove that the horse cost that much, okay? And she was volunteering that she was a horseback rider. And over there, they're like, oh, okay. Because if you are not a horseback rider, such as like a freaking jockey that shows up on those YouTube videos or those Instagram reels where you're like, yeah, you're not a horseback rider. So she could have just said, I'm an elementary horseback rider. But no, the ego would take too much of a hit with that one. So she's a horseback rider on a wild Arabian horse that dances nonetheless. So good for her. She got what she deserved.
So my cousin, he was sitting there talking all this shit, right? He's like, the minute he gets on the horse, he's freaking out. So he got off the horse early. And then when I was walking back to the group, he goes, I heard you fell. How did you fall? I need a play-by-play. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, normal people say, are you okay? They follow it up with that. No, I need a play-by-play.
No, you deserve that. You deserve that because you were so fixated on your ego that you were like, I'm a horseback rider, that your ego hurt 10 times more when you were walking back on your feet in the sand to everyone. And then you got lectured by your dad.
To make it worse, we get on the bus. And for those who missed me falling, so it's a group of like 50 of us, right? 40 to 50 people. So those who missed me falling or missed hearing me fall,
all heard
my sister gets on the bus. She goes, everybody, she fell off her horse, but she's fine. I'm right behind her. What's the point? We're the last two on the fucking bus.
Public service announcement.
She goes, hey, everybody, in case you missed it, she fell off her horse, but don't worry, she's fine. Obviously, I'm walking. I'm walking. Bro, I had sand everywhere that day.
Yeah, she just ate sand. So apparently when she fell, because she decided,
I fell right
the smart thing to do is, if you know you're falling off the horse,
I fell on my head.
Just fall. All right? Do not let the horse control your fall. You control your fall. Otherwise, you're getting trampled. You might get paralyzed. So what happened was she let go of her left leg. Then when she fell, she didn't realize that because one leg was already up, that her head was going to go down. And she wound up scooping sand with her head. Nonetheless, the moral of the story is don't let your ego make decisions for you.
Yeah.
Humble yourself before
Life
circumstances humble you.
Life humbled me that day. And that's what's worse is that that's the beginning of the day excursion.
Yeah.
We had a full day ahead of me. So everybody found it hilarious. Every few hours, like, how are you doing? Are you still okay? I'm like, I'm fucking fine. Keep moving.
The epic line of the day was my brother when he was explaining to me how he saw 2 horses' asses and one of them fell off.
He goes, have you ever seen a horse fall off a horse? And he was like, man, if I could have just taken out my phone and taken a picture. He goes, but I was too busy trying to steal the horse.
Yeah, by the way, nonetheless, the saddles out there are, I don't know if they're single strap or double strap.
They weren't the best.
But you hold on to the, what is the lei called in English? Oh my God. What is the
strap? The harness.
The strap, yeah. The harness. The saddle is what you're sitting on. Yeah, the harness. So you're holding on to the harness, but these are pretty strong horses, right? They're wild. So it's like, yeah, if you do not make that connection with the horse and establish that you are the one who's going to be in control, the horse is going to control you. So my brother was very worried to the point where he let go of his harness.
He let go of the harness
and he held on to the saddle.
He's like, fuck that.
And he held on to the saddle. So my brother at one point was veering like left away from the group.
My cousin had to go get my brother. He was like, I said horse go on its own.
And this was before we actually started going in, full horse mode.
Yeah.
Yes, but that's the moral of the story. So, like, humble yourself before circumstances humble you.
But we're not trying to dissuade you from doing horseback riding in Egypt by the pyramids.
Just tell them you don't know how to ride horses, and they will give you
they will take care of
moderate horses. Yeah. You'll still, even if you run with a moderate horse, you will still get that whole air in your hair feel and everything. Yes. You just won't be falling off of a horse like an idiot.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty fucking much.
Okay, that's it with the horse story. Yeah, so we went to Egypt and we had a great time. And part of that great time is making sure that you're orchestrating events for a large family. And my lesson that I learned the hard way was that I need a ton of Xanax to be around my family. That's number one. Okay. When you are an organizer and you put things together and you understand that you're already factoring for people's nonchalantness, there's traffic that you have no control over because in Cairo traffic is tremendous on any given time of day. Only at like 2 a.m. is traffic not that bad. Okay. And then on top of it, you're like, okay, I'm trying to put an itinerary together to make sure that everyone can experience something that suits them or may suit their need. Because you're trying to be mindful when you're an organizer and a planner and you put things together. You're not just putting it based on you. You're trying to see the characters that are around you and putting something together that will please everyone. I am not a people pleaser, though, mind you. So all I looked like the entire time was a tyrant yelling at everybody.
Literally. To the point my cousin goes, what is wrong with your sister? She has changed. I'm like, she's mad.
It was herding cats, okay? We have all age ranges, and the wedding party was 45-ish people, okay? From kids to adults.
Always
and the adults were giving me
personalities.
The adults were giving me the hardest time, okay? Because they like to do their own thing and not listen. And then I was like, all right, cool, bet. How about I start dropping off some of you and losing you on purpose?
Yeah, we wanted to lose my dad.
Just to teach you a lesson.
We wanted to lose my dad.
I wanted to lose my dad.
He was one of the people that gave us a hard time.
Very much so. Like, we would say, we have to make a left now, and he would go right. Yeah, he was just because he wanted to, right? And so it was great to have 45 people. And then he would do that, and then other people would follow him, and then all of a sudden the group is split in half, and I'm sitting there in the back looking at everyone, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to strangle some people. But yeah, it was fun. I would try, if I was going to do it again, I would do it again differently to the point where I'd probably be on, I'd probably have to do Xanax in order to survive that day and not have it take a toll on me mentally, emotionally, and physically, because that was a lot. Because I was trying to be nice, and the police officers, like the tourist police that let you into these places, were like, ma'am, it'll be okay. And I'm like, it's not okay!
Shout out to Happy Travels.
We were missing. Yeah, shout out to Happy Travels. He helped us coordinate all of that. But yeah, I almost got into a fight with the tourism police, so that's not a fun thing.
That's how our morning started.
Yeah.
Before we got up to the horses, like literally.
Because tensions were high already. Because like it's literally 5 minutes after breakfast, and breakfast was the first stop, and all of a sudden, you know, everyone's going off into their own ways.
So in our culture, like the oldest cousin usually gets like a tremendous amount of respect. You kind of hold him up in high regard as like he's an elder. So he came out to me, he goes, "What is wrong with your sister?" I was like, "Honestly, you're her cousin. Go do something." It's like, you know, you got that level of respect for you know?
Yeah.
You do something. He goes, "I don't know what to do. Do I go stop her from fighting him?"
Yeah.
Like, what is wrong with her?
I was gonna fight the police officer. Yeah, I was. I may have not have made it back if I did that. But yeah, he was the one who was like, he came up to me, our cousin. He was like, "Relax, it's okay, calm down."
He's like, "It's fine."
And then he told the
like,
police officer, "I'm sorry." I'm like, "Don't apologize to him."
Yeah.
But yeah, because they were trying to say that we had the wrong tickets. Mind you, we bought all adult tickets so that we don't get screwed up with the adult versus kids and have wait online and, you know, all of that bullshit. So we bought all adult tickets, and the guy was like, "Oh, he scanned a ticket and it didn't work." And I was like, "Try again." And then it didn't work. Try again. He's like, "You already used this." I'm like, "We have 40 tickets. How many did you scan?" And I was trying to get a hold of everybody to make sure they scanned their ticket. Because I know we bought extra tickets and we bought adult tickets just to bypass all that bullshit. But nonetheless, go visit the pyramids. It is breathtaking. Beautiful. It is magnificent. That is all I can say. Every time I go, it wows me even more. But yes, go do it. And if you're claustrophobic, do not go inside the pyramids. Just
please don't.
That's just
the worst was going into the pyramids and going up. And I don't know if you've ever been in there, you would understand this very tight, narrow hallway that has planks that act as stairs, and you have to go up. The same way you go up is the same way you come out. Mm-hmm. So the people that are like freaking out and having like an anxiety attack, they're coming down. And you're like, "Okay, hold on, go." Like, it's not comfortable for us. So it's like, if you don't know how to handle it, don't go inside. However,
do yourself a favor. Don't let your ego get the best of you like a certain somebody. Yeah.
I mean, I was fine in the pyramids. It was my father that his ego got to him in the pyramids. And I was like, okay, I had to really think about this critically. I was like, say he passes out, how do we get an ambulance? How do you get a stretcher in here? I don't fucking know. We can't carry him down these fucking planks.
Yeah.
So don't do that to your kids, you know?
Yeah.
It was very stressful that my parents decided to go up the pyramids because they wanted to prove a point, and I was like, you guys have seen it and lived it for so many years.
Why are you doing it now?
But
why are you doing it now?
Moral of the story, it was once you get into the king's chamber, it's a completely different feel. Like, can't even put words to it. You have to experience it for yourself. My sister, thank God for her. She put a magnificent itinerary together for us. We did that. Then we went to see the Grand Museum. And then we went to Old Cairo, and we also saw the famous hanging church. It's literally suspended in air.
It used to be a Roman base back when the Romans were in Egypt.
Really cool. Yeah. How they show you it was literally suspended in air, and they could show you like through the glass flooring. And then we went to the bazaar, which is like everybody's favorite, and we started singing songs. Yeah. Highly recommend that you hit up Happy Travels if you want a nice itinerary, and that you visit Egypt, but just don't overcrowd it because that'd be unfortunate for us.
That is her selfish ways talking. Yeah. So season 2, we're starting it off with the Why We Ghosted You. We were having a ton of fun. Egypt is something that is very memorable. But I think more than anything, it's don't overpromise and underdeliver. Always underpromise and overdeliver. Yeah.
Which is what we're trying to do with this too.
So that this is what we're doing for season 2. Don't do that. Don't let your ego get in the way. And take a deep breath sometimes. Yeah, you don't have to always look like a maniac. Yeah. So that, you sometimes you want perfection, and you realize at the end of the day when you reflect, it's like, oh, I was the one that was ruining everything, more than people not going per directions because I was just yelling at everyone the entire time.
For some reason.
12 hours of me yelling at everyone.
For some reason, I don't know why everybody thinks that I'm her, partner. They come up to me. They're like, "Yo, can you tell her to chill?" I'm like, "You can go speak to her yourself. What makes you think that I'm gonna have any impact on her?" They're like, "She listens to you." I'm like, "No, she does not. Are you retarded? No, she doesn't. I swear." She was yelling the whole time. Yeah. There was multiple different family members and like friends too. Like, "Yo, why is your sister so mad?" I was like, "She's just mad." I thought, what am I supposed to say?
I was mad because I wanted people to have a perfect experience, but then I have to learn to manage my own expectations and let them just experience what they need to experience, even if it was mediocre on their end, because a lot of the people that were with us were in Egypt for the first time, and I wanted them to experience it in a way where it would resonate with them, right? It's, you only get one chance to do something for the first time. You don't want to ruin it.
Right,
so
exactly.
I know that from experience. That's why I was like, let's try to make this the best thing ever. And then everyone just started not following directions or timing. And it was like, guys, we are on a very tight ship. By the way, that whole day was supposed to be split into 2 days, by the way. And we did it all in one day from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m., 12 hours straight.
We were exhausted.
We were exhausted at the end of the day. Everyone went back to the hotel, showered, and passed the fuck out.
Knocked out. And then at one point, literally, I see my sister going like, "I said you over here. Over here. Do you not know how to follow directions?" I'm like, "Yo, I don't want any part of this. I don't want a part of this at all." Legit. And then there was a security detail with us. And at one point we were yelling at my dad and he goes, "Don't yell at him." And I was like, "If he gets lost, he gets lost. I don't care anymore." And then my sister's like, "He's your problem. I'm done." Yeah. Okay.
I assigned the security detail to my dad.
Yeah.
Because I was like, you know what? You want to be friends with him? He's your responsibility now. Yeah. No. Yeah. My dad, it's like, by the way, nonetheless, what bothers me the most out of all of this is our parents, born and raised there, so their class trips were like the pyramids and shit. And now, at a very advanced age, at an older age, now they want to experience it. But they want to experience it to the point where fuck everybody else. And
legit,
it's like,
fuck everybody else.
Fuck everybody else.
Legit.
Where 40 people going this way and then 3 people going this way. Ridiculous, right? But yes, maybe that, I don't know why that triggered me, but yeah, maybe I should have just let them get lost in the desert.
The running joke was if it was my sister, myself, or my brother, we all looked at each other and then looked at our mom like, "Get your mans, man.
Get your man.
Get your man. Go get your man."
Yes, very much so. That was the running joke between the siblings. We were all looking at each other and then we were looking at my mom and we were like, "Get your mans." Nonetheless, nothing but love to all of them. But bringing it back to the point of why we started off season 2 with this, wanted to let you know how much fun we had on our vacation. We hope that you guys get to do the same. And also wanted to hold ourselves accountable. We talked a lot of shit, did not come in and cash on it. So that's why we will never overpromise and underdeliver again. That is our bad.
We might just sneak attack you with some nice surprises, but you won't know because
sneak attack. Why not be violent? To our followers, sneak attack.
Look, you got the purpose of this is just to own yourself. Look, I am aggressive. Like, I tried to just try to be like, "Oh, I'm all love and light." Yeah, you could be love and light and aggressive.
Guys, we recently went to Curacao. I wasn't gonna bring this up. We're not talking about this. We recently went to Curacao, and the person that says they were aggressive was worked up by their Dutch doppelganger, who was equally as aggressive in Curacao. But the side splitting moment where I keeled over and I could not laugh anymore was this lady or girl.
No.
Was bouncing around and talking very aggressively. And me and my cousin locked eyes, looked at each other, then looked at my sister. And as we were looking at my sister's looking at the girl, sizing her up, and then she's like, "What's wrong with her? She's irked by her own mirror in real time. In real time."
No, what pissed me off is this bitch. She comes out with her food, and she's like, "Rah, rah, rah," to her Dutch friend or whatever the fuck he was, and she's walking to give him the food, and then all of a sudden, so they walk past me this way. She's here. All of a sudden, I see this motherfucker coming from behind the truck. And she's like, "Ah, ah, ah, ah," she's yelling. I'm like, "What the fuck is this? What is that?" So my cousin turns around and goes, "If you ever had any doubt what you look in our eyes, that's it." What's that shit like that?
Yes.
Yeah, and my sister was very hangry that night. Like, she would literally wanted to do more than just bodily harm to us, all right? She goes, if I sleep another night without eating, we're gonna have major fucking issues.
Mind you, no one tells you that like dinner stops there around like 8
o'clock.
And we're leaving the beach late and we decide to get ready. And then so we're stepping out as dinner's wrapping up. So you're going to all the spots and they're like, no. And you're like, holy shit, what do I do? Right? So yeah.
We went to a
food truck, guys.
We went to a food truck. Like the taxi driver was like, I'll take you guys to a food truck before I take you back to your hotel. Like, okay.
But it was like a cool food truck, so it wasn't like mobile. It was a food truck on a plot of land, and there was like seating all around it in a garden and stuff. So it was really cute. But yeah, we met my sister's doppelganger there, and the funniest moment was she just mentioned that she was aggressive. That Dutch girl was also aggressive, and it irked my sister. So just be mindful of your aggression.
Look, I do what I can. I try my best.
Yes.
Yeah.
So with that, we will conclude episode 1 of season 2 and why we ghosted you. You can expect a different feel.
Yeah.
We are no longer going off of framework scripts.
No.
We are keeping it real, raw,
and authentic.
the way you guys like it, authentic. Okay.
If it resonates, it resonates. If it doesn't, then you got another ship to catch.
No, there's a million different podcasts out there.
Yeah, it's fine.
Like
we're no longer. We're just.
Champ is having a heart attack in the back.
Like, look, if you resonate with us, cool. If you don't, I get it.
Yeah.
We're not everybody's cup of tea, and we're not gonna try to force ourselves to be. We're just gonna stay true to ourselves. If you think we're cool, great. If you don't, no problem. Sayonara.
Listen,
best of luck to you.
I'm not everybody's cup of tea.
I'm
champagne, bitch. So I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving on.
What? You said cup of tea. Yeah, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I'm fucking champagne.
She's not a cup of tea at all.
Not at all.
She's what do they have in Iceland? Shark slicker or some shit like that. That's what she is. Yeah. It's like fermented shark. Sorry. They drink fermented shark. Or no, they drink the water of the fermented shark.
Something like that.
Yeah. I don't know. They were forcing us to, I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
No.
This is not going down my throat.
Pause. Hey, yo. Hey, yo.
All right.
Okay.
And with that, remember, if you like our content,
what the hell was that?
if you like our content, like, follow, and share. Show us that you care. And remember to always be kind.
Of a bitch. Champ, you have to say over and out. No one heard you talk the whole time.
Over and out.
Yeah.